sutang ekang samayang bhagava Savantiyang viharati jetavane anatha pindikansa arame Atako anyatara devata abhinkantaya rantiya abhinkantavanna Kevalakampang jetavanang obasenva Yena bhagavate nupasankami Upasangkaminva bhagavantang abhivadenva ekamantang antasi ekamantang titakosa devata bhagavantang gataya anjabasi Bahudeva manunsaca mangalani acintayung Akangkamana sontanang brohi mangalamuntamang Asevanaca balanang panditanang ca sevana Puja ca pujaniyanang etang mangalamuntamang Patirupadesavasoca pumbeca kata punyata Anta samma panidica etang mangalamuntamang Bahu sancanca simpanca vinayoca susinkito Subhasita jaya vaca etang mangalamuntamang Mata pitu upantanang puntadaran sesanggaho Anakula ca kammanta etang mangalamuntamang Dananca dhammacariyaca nyatakananca sanggaho Anavanjani kammani etang mangalamuntamang Arati virati papa manjapana ca sanyamo Ampamado ca dhammesu etang mangalamuntamang Garvo ca nivato ca santunti ca katang yuta Halena dhamma savanang etang mangalamuntamang Kanti ca sovacansata samananang ca dansanang Halena dhamma sakanca etang mangalamuntamang Tapoca brahmacariyanca ariya sancana dansanang Nibbana sancikiriyaca etang mangalamuntamang Puntang seloka dhammi cintang yansana kampati Asokang virajang kemang etang mangalamuntamang Eta disani kanvana සම්බන්තමපරාජිතා සම්බන්ත සොන්තිං ගච්ඡන්තිතං තේසං මංගල මුන්තමං ඒතේන සංච වංජේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං ඒතේන සංච වංජේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං ඒතේන සංච වංජේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං කරණීය මන්ත කුසලේන යන්තං සන්තං පදං අபிසමිච්ඡ සක්ඛෝජුච සුජුච සුවචෝ චංස මුදෝ අනතිමානි සන්තුංසකෝච සුභරෝච අම්පකින්චෝච සල්ලහුකවුන්ති සන්තින්ද්‍රියෝච නිපකෝච අම්පගම්බෝ කුලේසු අනුනුගින්දෝ නචකුන්දං සමාචරේකින්චි යේන විඤ්ඤූ පරේ උපවදෙයුම් සුඛිනෝ වාකේමිනෝ හන්තු සම්බේ සන්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතන්තා ඒකේචිපාන භූතන්ති තසවාතාවරාවා අනවසේසා දීඝාවායේ මහන්තාවා මංජිමාරංසකානුකතුලා දිත්ථාවායේව අන්දින්තා යේච දුරේ වසන්ති අවිදුරේ භූතාවා සම්භවේසීවා සම්බේ සන්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතන්තා නපරෝ පරං නිකුම්බේත ඥාති මඤ්ඤේත කන්තචිනං කංචී ව්‍යාරෝසනා පටික සංඥා ඥාඤ්ඤමඤ්ඤංස දුක්ඛමිච්ඡේය මාතා යතානියං පුන්තං ආයුසා ඒක පුන්ත මනුරංකේ ඒවම්පි සම්බභූතේසු මාන සංභාවයේ අපරිමාණ මෙත්තංච සම්බලෝකස්මින් මාන සංභාවයේ අපරිමාණ උන්දං අදෝච තිරියංච අසංභාදං අවේරං අසපත්තං තින්ඨංචරං නිසින්නෝවා සයානෝවායාවතන්ස විගතමින්දෝ ඊතං සතින් අදින්ඨේය බ්‍රහ්මමේතං විහාරං ඉදමාහෝ දින්ඨින්ච අනුපගම්ම සීලවා දන්සනේන සම්පන්නෝ කාමේසු විනය්‍යගේදං නහි ජාතු ගම්බසේයං පුනරේති. එවං මේ සුතං ඒකං සමයං භගවා සාවන්තියං විහරති ජේතවනේ අනාථපිණ්ඩිකංස ආරාමේ අතකෝ අඤ්ඤතරා දේවතා අබින්කන්තාය රන්තියා අබින්කන්තවන්නා කේවල කම්පං ජේතවනං ඕවාසෙන්වා යේන භගවාතේනුපසංකමී උපසං.
Namo Buddhaya, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Very good morning. It's a beautiful morning today with clear blue sky. Hello and happy to have our Dhamma friends who have joined us from all over, from the south to the north, to Klang Valley, and all over, and including those who have joined us from Sri Lanka via Santusako Heritage. Joining us on another Sunday Buddha Puja service. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu to many of you, the families who decide to join us on a Sunday following the Buddha Puja service, listening to the chanting, and later listening to Dhamma talk. You may prepare a candle or oil lamp to have any other offerings to offer at your altar, and we offer it together this morning together with Venerable Indarathana. To those who have just joined us, welcome to Subang Jaya Buddhist Association number 84. And we regularly organize this weekly online Buddha Puja service so that many of you can join us near and far to continue with our Buddhist faith and practices. And also, importantly, an opportunity to listen to the Dhamma. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let's begin with our Sunday Buddha Puja service. With respect, may we invite Venerable Indarathana to make the offerings to the Buddha. To the devotees, you may light your candles or oil lamp. The rest of you, may place the palms together in angelic position. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let's pay homage to the triple gems. Buddhang pujemi, Dhammang pujemi, Sanghang pujemi. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, together we shall invite Venerable Indarathana to administer to us the three refuges and the five precepts. Aham bante samsara vata dukkhato mochanataya tisaranena saha pancha silang dhammang yachami anugahang katva silang deta me bante. Tutiyampi ahang bante sangsara vata dukkhato mochanataya tisaranena saha pancha silang dhammang yachami anugahang katva silang deta me bante. Tadiyampi ahang bante samsara vata dukkhato mochanataya tisaranena saha pancha silang dhammang yachami anugahang katva silang deta me bante.
Tu arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
තතියම්පි බුද්ධං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
තතියම්පි ධම්මං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
තතියම්පි සංඝං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
පානාතිපාතා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි
Anadipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
අදින්නාදානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
කාමේසු මිච්ඡාචාරා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි
Kamesu miccachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
මුසාවාදා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
සුරාමේරය මජ්ජපමා දට්ඨානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි
Surameraya Majjapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
ඉමානි පංච සික්ඛාපදානි සමාදියාමි
Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami.
අප්පමාදේන සම්පාදේත
Amabante sadhu sadhu sadhu.
So now let us recite together the recollection of the triple gem and followed by the verses of the Buddha Puja offering. Iti piso bhagavārahang samma sambuddho viññācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasārati sattha deva manusānaṁ බුද්ධෝ භගවාති ස්වාක්ඛාතෝ භගවතා ධම්මෝ සංදිට්ඨිකෝ අකාලිකෝ ඒහි පන්සිකෝ ඕපනයිකෝ පච්චත්තං වේදිතම්බෝ විඤ්ඤුහිති සුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ උජුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ඥායපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචි පටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ යදිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අන්තපුරිස පුංගලා ඒස භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනියෝ පාහුනියෝ දක්කිනියෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ අනුන්තරං පුඤ්ඤං කෙන්තං ලෝකස්වාති වන්දාමිචේතියං සම්බං සම්බටානි සුපතින්තිතං සාරීරික ධාතු මහාබෝධින් බුන්දරූපං සකලං සදා යස්ස මූලේ නිසින්නෝව සම්බාරි විජයං අකා පත්තෝ සම්බං යුතං සත්තා වන්දේ තං බෝධිපාදපං ඉමීතේ මහාබෝධි ලෝකනාතේන පූජිතා අහංපිතේ නමස්සාමි බෝධිරාජා නමස්තුතේ ඝනසාරම්පදිත්තේන දීපේන තමදංසිනා තිලෝකදීපං සංබුද්ධං පූජයාමි තමෝනුදං ගන්ධ සංභාරයුත්තේන දූපීනාහං සුගන්ධිනා පූජයේ පූජනීයන්තං පූජාභාජන මුත්තමං වන්න ගන්ධ ගුණෝපේතං ඒතං කුසුම සන්තතින් පූජයාමි මුනිං දන්ස සිරිපාද සරෝරුහේ පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසුමේනනේන පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ච හෝතු මොක්ඛං පුම්ඵං මිලායාති යතයිදං මේ කායෝ තතායාති විනාස භාවං අධිවාසේතුනෝ බන්තේ පානීයං පරිකම්පිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගන්හාතු මුත්තමං කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයාකතං අංචයං කමමේ භන්තේ භූරි පඤ්ඤ තථාගත කායේන වාචා චින්තේන පමාදේන මයාකතං අච්චයං කමමේ ධම්ම සංදිට්ඨික අකාලික කායේන වාචා චින්තේන පමාදේන මයාකතං අච්චයං කමමේ සංඝ සුපටිපන්න අනුත්තර සාදු සාදු සාදු.
Namo Buddhaya and good morning, Bante, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. We're very happy to have Bante to be back with us again. And we thank you, Bante, this morning for leading us in the Buddha Puja. We shall also be inviting Venerable Indarathana to give us a Dhamma talk on the requisites, the 4 requisites to be stream winner or Sotapanna, a topic I think many of us will be interested to find out more, to progress in our spiritual cultivation on the path of liberation as taught by the Buddha. And brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, if you have any questions pertaining to this talk, you may type your questions in the comment section. We shall then invite Venerable Indarathana to reply your questions after the Dhamma talk. However, due to time constraint, we might not be able to answer all your questions, in which case we ask for your forgiveness and understanding. For the information of those who may be new with Venerable Indarathana, let me do a short introduction of the Venerable. Venerable Indarathana hails from Sri Lanka and is currently a resident monk at Subang Jaya Buddhist Association. He was first ordained as a Buddhist monk in 1997 at the age of 11, and after 10 years of monastic training, he received his higher ordination in 2007. Venerable Indarathana graduated with a law degree from the University of Colombo and a master's in counseling psychology from the University of Health, and is currently pursuing a PhD degree in counseling psychology at the University of Malaya. He offers counseling services to people from all walks of life using Buddhist principles combined with modern psychotherapeutic approach. He has been residing in Malaysia since 2012 under the guidance of the Most Venerable Sri Sanankara Nayaka Mahathera. He also travels to other countries to teach the Dhamma. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, now, with deep respect, I would like to invite Venerable Indarathana to begin the Dhamma talk this morning. The 4 requisites to be a stream winner or Sotapanna. Bante, with deep respect.
Thank you, Brother Jim. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Very good morning to all the brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Once again, we are gathering here online for the Subanja Buddhist Association Sunday Buddha Puja. So it is mentioned today is 84th session of this online Sunday Puja. I think I remember the very first Sunday online Sunday Puja was I also attended. I think 1.5 years ago. So today, continuously, Subanja Buddhist Association conducting this Sunday Buddha Puja online. Today is 84th session. So I'm very happy to be back again for this Sunday Puja. To begin today Dhamma session, I would like to bring your attention to one of the stanza in the Dhammapada. It's very inspiring stanza, especially about the how important it is to realize the Buddha's teaching within this very life. In that Dhammapada stanzas, Dhammapada verses 178 in the Lokavagga, 13 verses of the Lokavagga. It says, Patavya eka rajjena saggesu gamanenava sabba lokadi pachena sotapatti palang varang. This Pali stanza's meaning, it is far better than sovereignty over the earth, and it is far better than going to the abode of the devas or going to the heaven. It is far better than ruling the supreme over the entire universe, is attainment of the sotapatti tradition or sotapatti phala, or become a stream winner. These verses uttered by the Buddha to one of the son of the well-known wealthy man in Buddha's time called Anathapindika. I think you have heard about the Anathapindika. He is the chief supporter or main supporter to the Buddha during the Buddha's time. He had two daughters and one son, the Anathapindika. The two daughters was very devoted to the Buddha, and they were supporting to the father, giving dana and practicing sila and developing wisdom. And the two daughters even attained, one attained Sakadagami, the other one attained Anagami. So the two daughters are well into the practice with the father. But the younger son was, his name is Kala. He's not so much keen to the practice. He was not so much interested in, doing dana, practicing sila, or even going to the Dhamma, listen to Dhamma talk, even going to the temples, which is offered by his own father. He more interested on about the money, he liked the money, and he liked to enjoy the life. But as a father who practicing the Buddhism, practicing the Dharma in very deep sense, and the one who have a very deep connection with the Buddha, he was the Anathapindika, the father was very upset about his behavior. So then he tried to influence his son how to bring him into the practice. So since he is more interested on money, what he make a tactic to bring him to the temple. He said to the Kala, the son, I will give you a big bag of gold coin. That time, the money was a gold coin called Kahavanu. It's like gold coin. So I will give you this bag of money if you go to the temple on full moon day and observe 8 precepts and come back. And then this son Kala was so interested about it because he got money at the end of the day. So then he decided to go to the temple and observe by 8 precepts, and he spent whole night protecting by 8 precepts, and following day he come back early morning to the house. And then the father was preparing some food for the son because he was didn't eat last night because of the 8 precept. So he asked all the servants to prepare very good meal for the son. The son immediately after come back from the temple, he said, I don't eat. I don't want to eat. I want my money. He said, I want my money first and then I will eat. So then the father was very loving and caring. He immediately gave the money to him as he promised, and then he eat. So this program was going once a while. And then the father was thinking, so he just go to temple and just he go to temple and just eat something and then he sleep on the temple and then following day coming back. So it's not much benefit from this tactic as well. Then the father suggested to Kala, the son, you go to the temple and you got to remember one Dhamma factors which is uttered by the Buddha. So you attend to the Buddha's talk, the Dhamma teaching, and you remember just one line, just one factors of the Dhamma. And then I will give you this amount of money. So that he increased the amount and then asked the son to go to temple and listen the Dhamma. So the son Kala find it interesting deal, and then he go to temple and try to listen to the Buddha's teaching. So Buddha knew this incidents by his psychic power, and then Buddha make an aspiration until the Dhamma talk is finished, that Kala cannot remember any one line, any particular Dhamma, cannot remember it until it finished. So then the Kala start to listen to Dhamma talk and the Buddha is going on explaining the Dhamma. And at the end of the first line, the first factor, he tried to remember it so that he thought, okay, I listen just one factor and then I go back because he asked me to just to listen, remember one line or one factors of the Dhamma. But after he listened carefully, the first part of the Dhamma talk, he couldn't remember it, couldn't memorize it. And then he listened very carefully into the second part of the Dhamma. And that also he couldn't remember. Then he more attentively listened to the each and every part of the Dhamma talk given by the Buddha. He listened very attentively. He enthusiastically listened and listened, but none of the factors he couldn't remember actually. Until the Buddha is finishing the Dhamma talk, only he is able to recall all the Dhamma factors. But by that time, he listened the Dhamma very attentively. So he spent that night in the temple, and the following day he go back to the house. And the following day, the Buddha also went back to Anathapindika's house for the alms, for the dana. And then the Kala also sitting by the side, and the venerables and also Buddha and also sitting for the dana. And then the father realized that Kala's behavior is so much different. And the earlier, immediately he come back from the temple, he asked money. But today he didn't ask money. Instead of he asking money, he just stay silent without asking anything. And then the father, Anathapindika, said to the Buddha, my son behavior is so different today. And last time he always asking money come back from the temple, but today he's not asking money, and he is very pleasant and calm today. And he was surprised. Then the Buddha said, there is nothing to surprise Gahapati, the Anathapindika. If you wish something from him to attain certain stage. If you wish something for him to attain something, and he will be there very soon. And he is not anymore much interested on money, and he's not anymore so much going behind the material things. And then Buddha uttered these verses. In these verses, Buddha says, it is far better than sovereignty over the earth. Patavya ekarajena. If it is far better than become a king or the ruler of the whole earth to entire world, or become a Sakpiti Raja. It is far better than going to abodes of devas. It is far better than going to the heavenly existence. And it is far better than ruling supreme over the entire universe, not only this world. If somebody become the ruler or king of the entire universe, so attaining of the Sotapatti tradition, or attaining the extreme entry, attaining to become an extreme winner, is a far more better attainment than any other things in the world. So in this stanzas, put the emphasis. Buddha explained that the Kala, the Anathapindika's son, already attained the Sotapanna stage, and it is much more worthier things than any other things in the world. If you given an opportunity to become the king to the whole world, or king to the whole universe, Buddha said, it is not so much worthy than attaining to the Sotapanna stage. If you have a chance to go to the heaven, and if you have another chance to become a Sotapanna, Buddha said, choose to be a Sotapanna, because it is far more better than going to the heaven. So there are some other similes also Buddha explained about the attaining Sotapanna, how important in this very life. So there is a simile, there's one story just to illustrate how important it is Sotapanna stage. The Buddha said, somebody is stabbing you, or somebody using the sword and stab you 100 times in the morning, and then in the noon time another 100 times somebody is stabbing you with the sword, and in the evening another 100 times. So this is just an illustration. Even if you could survive that somebody is stabbing on you for 300 times per day, like that, let's say you have 100 years of lifespan, entire this 100 years you are stabbed 300 times daily. You can understand how much pain it is to have such a situation, that's stabbing you 300 times every day, morning, noon time, and evening time. If somebody make a deal with you, at the end of the 100 years, you will get the Sotapanna stage in this way. Buddha said, to accept that deal, if somebody can give you a Sotapanna stage in this manner. So you can, Buddha said, the amount of pain you're going through the 100 years is very less the other suffering if you back into the samsara. So this attaining of the Sotapanna stage we have to understand in terms of the samsaric circle, because the samsaric circle is very uh, dangerous place for these beings. In the samsaric circle, we don't know where it has started, where when we started this our journey, and there is no guarantee when will be the end of this journey. And the Buddha said one time he took 7 pebbles in his hand and said to the other venerables, the one who attains Sotapanna stage is just like their suffering is just like these 7 pebbles. But those who not attain the Sotapanna stage, their suffering is just like this entire world, all the pebbles and sands in the entire world. So you can understand that if we not attain the Sotapanna stage, if we going back to samsara again, there can be a huge amount of suffering, because this samsara is normally the hell beings, uh, animal beings, peta beings, asura beings. So these places is just like our home in the samsara. So normally if you go out, normally you immediately come back to the home. If you go to work, after the work you go back to the home. If you go outside for the shop, if you go to outside for any other thing, after you have done that one, you again come back to the home. So in this samsara, the lower realm or unfortunate realm is just like our home, because normally in this world we naturally tend to the negative things, the bad karma, so that we constantly dwell in the sansara, making the hell beings, the animal beings, peta beings, or asura beings as a home in our sansaric circle. So we have to really understand the samsaric circle, how our samsaric circle is working, in order to understand how important it is to attain the Sotapanna stage. So the Sotapanna stage is first stage of our enlightenment, and it is the most hardest stage, most difficult place to be. Once you attain Sotapanna stage, you can attain the other stages very easily. Very easily means, you have to make the right effort, but as this Sotapanna stage, the literal meaning of this Sotapanna means stream enterer. Once you enter into the stream, you don't have to make much effort. The stream is like flowing, the water stream. So it is normally you don't have to make much effort. You are flowing to the nibbana without much efforts. But to enter into the stream is the most difficult time, most difficult things. So that is why Buddha always encourage to attain the Sotapanna stage, at least Sotapanna stage. Actually, in the entire Buddhism, Buddha never encouraged to go back into the samsara even for a second. So Buddha says to end up the mass suffering in this lifetime. So if anybody cannot attain the arahantship in this life, at least we have to make sure we attain the Sotapanna stage. Because we already in a very good fortunate situation in our samsaric circle. We born in a time where the Buddha was born, means that Buddha's dispensation is still around for us to realize this noble teaching. If we born into the time period where the Buddha's dispensation is no more there, almost impossible for us to even understand, even hear about this process of enlightenment, even to hear about this process of sansaric circle, even to hear about the sublime teaching. So you can understand that being born of the Buddha is extremely rare. So entire this last 100,000 eons, there was only 28 Buddhas was born. So you can understand that one eon is such a very long time. So 100,000 and much more actually is incalculable number of eons, number of years. We even cannot comprehend how long it is. So being born in a time of the Buddha was born is extremely rare, and being born as a human being by that time is even very rare opportunity. Sometimes you might question, there are so many people in the world, how come it is very rare? There are 7 billion people. But you have to compare with this one with the other worlds, other animal worlds, other Peta worlds, other Asura worlds, other hell being worlds. Because when we compare all these worlds, being born as a human being is very extremely rare. It's the number of the human is maybe very less. Sometimes we cannot count the beings in the hell, beings in the Peta world, even being in the Asura world. But you can have a rough idea how many beings in the animal worlds. Maybe you don't know even how to calculate how many different species in the animal world. But at least if you look at the ant nest in your house or in your garden, you can find even billions of ants. Even you can find more ants than the entire human race. And sometimes we don't know how many other animals in this world. So compared to that, being born as a human being is extremely rare. If it is not rare, the Buddha never emphasizes on this in his teaching. So being born as a human being is very rare. And not only that, we have all the capability to listen the Dhamma, understand the Dhamma, and comprehend the Dhamma from the teaching. So we have all this opportunity. We have temples, we have the Dhamma books available, and the suttas is still available in its very early forms. You can easily, in your phone, in your computer, you can easily access to all the teaching. And now there are many Dhamma talks also even in the YouTube and all other sources. So this is the best time for us to realize the Buddha's teaching or attain the extreme enterer. So there is one sutta in the Sangyutta Nikaya, the sutta number 55.5. It's called Second Sariputta Sutta. So let me share this screen for you. That sutta. So brother, yep, let me share this sutta, these slides. Yeah. So in this Sariputta Sutta, second Sariputta Sutta, Then the Sariputta went up to the Buddha, bowed and sat down one side. The Buddha said to him, the Sariputta, they speak of the stream. What is the stream? Sir, the stream is simply this noble eightfold path. That is right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right immersion or right concentration or sammasati. Good Sariputta, for the stream is simply this noble eightfold path. So we talk today about the stream entry or stream winner. So people talk about what is stream and stream. So the stream is nothing, any other thing, but to enter, or fully enter into the noble eightfold path. The truly entering into the noble eightfold path. So we are in the path without any doubts once we attain to the stream entry. So the stream is the noble eightfold path. That stream is leading to the attainment of the enlightenment. Then the second Buddha asks, Sariputta, they speak of stream enterer. What is stream enterer? Anyone who possesses this noble eightfold path is called stream enterer. The venerable such is such and such name and clan. Good Sariputta, for anyone who possesses this noble eightfold path is called stream enterer. So stream enterer, the one who called stream enterer is one who possesses this noble eightfold path, means that the one who enter into the noble eightfold path and practice this noble eightfold path in their life. Then the Buddha again asks, Sariputta, they speak a factor of stream entry. What are the factors of stream entry? What is the factor of stream entry? Then the Sariputta, Venerable Sariputta saying, the factors of stream entry are associating with good friends, listening to the true teachings, proper attention, and practicing in line with the teaching. So these four factors are the factors of stream entry, or supporting factors. Actually, it's a supporting factors or prerequisite according to our topics today. These are the four prerequisites to attain stream entry. And let's see all these four requisites. So before that, you can understand that there are four stages of enlightenment. The very first stage of enlightenment is stream enterer, which called in Pali Sotapanna. So in this stage, the most difficult defilement that we need to overcome is abandoning the belief in self and skeptical doubt about the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and attachment to rites and rituals, the abandoning attachment to the rite and rituals. So those who attain in stream entry has maximum 7 rebirths into happy realm, or either human or Deva realm. It is guaranteed that those who attain stream entry will never born in 8 rebirth, and they will never reborn in heavenly or animal or any other lower realm. So this is the only guarantee that we have in our samsaric circle, that we never born in very, very suffering stage of samsara. Then the second stage is one returner, we call a Sakadagami. So in this stage, we remove the flatters of 1 to 3 earlier flatters or kilesa, and reduce the flatters 4 and 5, kamaraga and patiga. And they may return to this world or human world only one more time before reaching final enlightenment. but not necessarily they have to come to the human world. Sometimes they reborn in the Deva world or Brahma world and attain enlightenment as well. But only the possibility is only one time to come to the human world. The non-returners, Anagami stage, they remove the upper, completely removing the lower fetters, lower 5 fetters, and then they will never again take rebirth in the human world of desire or human world or any sensual planes. They will not reborn, and they reborn only in a Brahma world. We call it a Suddha Vasa. Those who are Anagami people, those who are non-returners, they reborn in only the one realm called Suddha Vasa. Sometimes people call it pure land. Suddha means pure, Vasa is land or place. So they will reborn in the Suddha Vasa Brahma realm. And the other one, the last one, is Arahant stage. They completely remove all the 10 fetters, and this is the final stage, and the cycle of rebirth is completely stopped, and suffering is completely ended. So these are the 10 fetters. I think we don't have much time to explain all these things. So we just go to the factors of extreme entry. So these factors of extreme entry, there are two main side. First one is external factors. That external factor that help us to become a sotapanna or become a stream winner. The external factors are associating with good people, associate with a good friend. In Palitam, it said Sappurisa Sansevo, association of the Sappurisa people. Sappurisa means that noble people. Sappurisa Sansevo. And the second one is listening to the true teaching. This is important. Saddhamma Savanang, listening to the true teaching. Then the internal factor. So these two things we get from the outside, and once we get all these two conditions, these two prerequisites complete, and then we have to have internal factors, the proper attention, yoniso manasikara, proper attention or appropriate attention or wise reflection. These are the words used in English for the yoniso manasikara, proper attention or appropriate attention or wise reflection. And the third one is practicing in line with the teachings, Dhamma Patipatya. So these two things we have to develop in our own self, in our own mind. So we go into the details. I think among all these things, it is very, very important factor is the first factors of external factors, association with the good friend, Sappurisa Sansevo. In Itivuttaka, the Buddha said one time like this: with regard to the external factors, I don't envision any other single factor like friendship with admirable people as doing so much for a monk in training who has not attained the goal but remain intent on the unsurpassed safety from the bondage. A monk who is friend with admirable people abandons what is unskillful and develop what is skillful. And in one time, the Venerable Ananda suggested to the Buddha, this is half of the holy life, Lord having admirable people as friends, companion, and colleagues. Then the Buddha said, don't say that, Ananda. Don't say that. Having admirable people as friends, companion, and colleagues is actually the whole of the holy life, if everything in holy life. When a monk has admirable people as friend, companion, and colleagues, he can be expected to develop and pursue the noble eightfold path. So you can understand that how important it is to have a good friend. So this good friend can be our companion, or it can be our teacher. Actually, finding a teacher, uh, it's very difficult in this complicated world. When we have more and more resources, when we have more and more access to the teachers, it also make more complicated our choice of the people. And association with a good friend maybe can become even more complicated than in the past. And finding a true teacher even can be complicated than the past, because when we have more and more and more and options, sometimes we confuse what is really good friend and who is really good friend and who is really a good teacher. Because nowadays there are many fake friends, fake teachers, and they seems like good people, but spiritually, actually they are not really a spiritual friend or a spiritual teacher that we bring to the end of our suffering. So this problem is, we a lot of people having this problem, how to find a good teacher or how to find a good spiritual friend. So the teacher also definitely a friend. The Buddha said himself, a Buddha himself is a spiritual friend. He is the best friends that we have in our life, the Buddha. Because the Buddha is the one who has such a compassion and such a wisdom to guide us in order to overcome our suffering. So if you don't have any other friend, you cannot find any other friends in your life. So consider the Buddha is your best friend and your good spiritual friend. And following the Buddha's lifestyle, following the Buddha's advice through the Dhamma, is the only way that you can associate with the Buddha as a friend or as a teacher. So always remember that our ultimate teacher is the Buddha. As a Buddhist, as the one who aspired to end of the suffering, as the one who practicing the Noble Eightfold Path, is nobody's our ultimate teacher. Our ultimate teacher, our ultimate friends is the Buddha. So remembering this, let's see how to find a good friends or good companion in our life, in this spiritual life. In the Digajana Sutta, in the Anguttara Nikaya, 54 Sutta, Digajana Sutta, in that Sutta, Buddha says like this. And what does it mean to have admirable people as friends? There is the case where a layperson, in whatever town or village he may dwell, he spend time with householder and householder's son, young or old, who are advanced in virtues. He talk with them, engage them in the discussion. So, what kind of person is he? Emulate, consummate conviction, saddha. The one who has, the one who is a good friend, he has this conviction, of he has this shraddha, confidence, faith towards the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. In those who are consummate in conviction, consummate virtues, sila, in those who are consummate in virtues, consummate generosity, uh, or dana, and those who are consummate in generosity and consummate discernment, panya, those who are consummate in discernment, this is called having admirable people as friend. So in the Digajana Sutta, Buddha said there are four qualities that noble friends are possessing. So these four qualities are Saddha, Sila, Tyaga, Prajna, or conviction, or we call confidence, or Shraddha towards the Buddha, towards the Dhamma, towards the Sangha, and they are having a virtuous or sealer. They are virtuous people, and they are generous people. They're not stingy people. Generally, they are very generous people, and they have this understanding of right understanding. They have this panya to understand what is the true nature of the world. So this is a one criteria the Buddha explained about the good friend. If somebody have the Shraddha, the first thing is they have Shraddha towards the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, or their confidence, faith, and devotion to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and they have virtuous people, and they are generous people, and they are wise people. So then again, admirable friends are to be recognized both by what they say and what they are doing. For the person who transgresses in one thing, I tell you, there is no evil deeds that is not to be done, which is one thing. This is telling a deliberate lie. So in this passage, Buddha explained, uh, if you just finding a one things in admirable people or good people or wise people, a good spiritual friend, one thing is they never tell deliberate lies. Maybe they have other problems, they have other weaknesses, other defilement, but one thing is very sure, that they're not deliberately telling lies. Maybe accidentally telling lies, so it can be, but they're not deliberately purposely tells you lies in order to make you believe something wrong, or they're not deliberately telling lies for any other purpose. So that is the one thing, because the one who telling lies can do any other bad things, any other defilement, any other negative actions. Because one who telling true, they scared to do bad things, they shame to do bad things, so they have fear and shame on doing bad things. So if you finding one virtues, one qualities of the good friend, just one thing is, you have to understand that they are not telling lies. And on the other hand, if you want to become a good friend, good spiritual friend, practice this one. Never tell lies. Once you tell lies, your words are not believed by anybody. And once you're telling lies, you can do any other bad things, then you can say you didn't do it. And that's why in this passage, Buddha said, admirable friends to be recognized both what they say and what they do. Not only what they say, what they do as well. They, normally those are good people, they say what they good, what they say, they do what they do, they say. So we go to the other factors that Buddha explaining. So here I can, okay, never mind. I'll explain what are the other criteria that we can find on the Buddha's teaching. Uh, in Katanya Sutta, there is another sutta in Anguttara Nikaya. In that sutta, Buddha says, a person who is a good friend, there's another good qualities of that friend is a gratefulness. Now that's the level of person, the in this sutta Buddha says, now what is the level of a person of no integrity? A person of no integrity is ungrateful, does not acknowledge the help given to them. This ingratitude, this lack of acknowledgement is second nature of among the rude people. So this is another sutta Buddha explained about the ungrateful people is normally not wise people, not a good spiritual friend. So there are many other suttas Buddha explained, especially Sariputta Sutta, and also the Chatuthana Sutta, Buddha explained about the how to find a good friend. So we are running out of the time. So it, so it is very important to find a good friend in our spiritual path. So by associating with long time, by dealing with them, by listening to them for long time, we can identify those are good friends, not just because of they are very popular, not just because of they are very attractive in their talking, just because of they are very good, uh, they have very good in command, uh, in talking and using the influencing word. So not because of all these things, but if they're truly having uh, that qualities, Shraddha, Sila, Tyaga, Prajna, and they are not telling lies, and they are grateful people. And most importantly, they are, when you are associating with them, you can feel that your virtues are rising, your Shraddha, your devotion is arising and developing, and your wisdom is developing, and your generosity is developing. And then you feel more comfortable, you feel more calm, quiet, and peaceful when they are associated with. Even this is applicable to the teachers as well. If any teachers, when you associate with that teacher, if your uh, devotion is rising, your anger is subsiding, and your good qualities is going up, and your negative qualities is going down. So that is the uh, way that we can find a good teacher. So spend amount of time to find a good teacher, a good companion, is very very important in this life, in this spiritual path. So that is the first factor of the external factor. The second one is listening to the true Dhamma. The listening to the true Dhamma is the second factor, external factor, because it's also, there are many Dhamma, many teachings in the world, many teachings you can find in different places. So it is important to find what is true Dhamma. So in the Buddha said in the Dhammapada, the opportunity to listen to the Dhamma is considered as a valuable, both because it is rare and it is yield to great benefit. So there are these five rewards in listening to the Dhamma. Which five? One hears what has not heard before. One clarifies what has heard before. One gets rid of doubts. One views and made straight, and one's mind goes serene. So these are the five benefits. Uh, to obtain these benefits, one must come to the Dhamma with the both right karmic background and with the right attitude. So there are some obstruction, a karmic obstruction as well. He is not endowed with the present karma obstruction, a defilement obstruction, or real result of past karma obstruction. And they should have a conviction or saddha or liking towards the listening to Dhamma. The final one is desire to listen to the Dhamma, and the discernment or panya. So we need to have a right attitude to listen to Dhamma as well, and as well as we shouldn't have a karmic obstruction, which is in the present karma or past karma obstruction, in order to prevent listening Dhamma. Somehow, it is important to listen as much as you can. Without listening, you cannot find what is a good teaching or what is not good teaching. The first thing is, with open eye, with open ears, with open minded, listen to each and every teacher, and listen each and every teachings, and then you can make a difference, what is good teaching and what is not good teaching. uh, if any teaching, when you are following particular teaching, if you feel that your suffering is getting less and less, if your stress and your anxiety is getting less and less, and you feel more and more calm and serene when you practice certain teaching, certain practices. So these teaching and practices will be beneficial, and that will lead to the true Dhamma, or listen to the true Dhamma. So there are many other suttas also in the Buddha's teaching, how to find the good teaching. Especially this sutta, Buddha explained to the Bhikkhuni Gautami, the Buddha's previous mother. Uh, in that sutta, Buddha says there are these qualities, you may know, these qualities lead to passion. So when you're practicing certain teaching, that teaching, when you're following that teaching, that it lead to, that the teaching lead to passion, not dispassion, to being fettered, not to be unfettered, to accumulating, not to shedding, self aggrandizement, not to modesty, to discontent, not to contentment, to entanglement, not to seclusion, laziness, not to arouse persistence, or to being burdensome, not to being burdensome. If once some teaching lead to the passion, or fettered, accumulating, discontent, entanglement, or laziness, or being burdensome, the Buddha says not to follow all these things. Any teaching that feel more burden, if you feel more remorse or regret, when some teachings, when you're listening some teaching, if you feel more stressful, so that's teaching this is to abandon. And but if it lead to more peace, calm, and serene feeling, that should be the following. And also there are very good advice in the Kalama Sutta. Buddhists explain about how to find the true teaching as well. You can find the Kalam Sutta in the internet. There are many resources on Kalam Sutta you can find, and that Sutta Buddha says how to find the true teaching as well. And the third factor, or the internal factors of the stream entry, is Yoniso Manasikaro, appropriate attention. So in the Itivuttaka, Buddha says, with regard to the internal factors, I don't envision any other single factor like appropriate attention as doing as much as for a monk in training. So Buddha said appropriate attention. So we have these earlier factors of good friends, or listening to the Dhamma. So once you have a good friend, then it leads to the listening of more Dhamma, or having more and more knowledge about the Dhamma. So now what happens is, we get the external factors to our practice, and then we have to apply it with appropriate attention. We listen Dhamma in the temple, and when you go out of the temple, if you don't apply it at all, if you don't see the external event through the Dhamma, the listening Dhamma is just a waste of your time. So you have to listen the Dhamma and remember it properly, and then you have to apply it to the real situation, real life situation. We have to see the world through the lens of the Dhamma. We have to frame our understanding of experience in the right terms, means right understanding. So the through the Dhamma. So we have to, in the day-to-day life, when we experiencing some difficulties, conflict in the society, and also even when you have some desires in your day-to-day life, when you have a anger, when you have a lust or whatever defilement, you have to see the events, see the experience through the lens of the Dhamma. So that is called appropriate attention, seeing the Dhamma through the lens of the Dhamma. Or paying skillful attention to the life, so that we can see the Dhamma, we can immediately get the result of the Dhamma when you practicing, when you see, when we change our perception towards the external factors in the world. So that is called appropriate attention. And the last one is practice in accordance with the Dhamma. So we have good friends, so we are listening to Dhamma, and then we have appropriate attention or wise reflection. And now, naturally, you have to practice the the eightfold path, four noble truth and eightfold path into our life. With the right understanding, with the right intention, and then we training in sila and developing our samadhi by practicing of meditation, and to attaining the wisdom, developing our panya. So sila, samadhi, prajna, or in more details is eightfold path, practicing eightfold path and arranging our lifestyle in accordance with the Dhamma. And in more details, we can see 37 Bojjhanga Dhamma, or 37 factors of enlightenment. So you can practice either in very briefly Sila, Samadhi, and Prajna, or if you go more detail, you can practice Noble Eightfold Path, and if you go to more details, you can practice 37 factors of enlightenment. So practicing, aligning your life in accordance with the Dhamma is the last factor. So when we go these four factors, when we incorporate these four factors into our spiritual life, sooner or later we will have a good understanding. We will understand the suffering, we will understand the cause of suffering, and we will understand the cessation of suffering, and we will walk in the path of cessation of suffering, so that we will able to attain stream entry sooner or later. So with this understanding, I'll conclude today Dhamma talk. So I think we take so much time. So if you have questions, you may ask now. So I will try to answer very briefly. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bante, for the very profound yet very interesting and inspiring Dhamma talk this morning, which is also mentally and spiritually very enriching on the topic of the four requisites to be a Sotapan, and how important it is to have good people, Sapurisa, as our friends, so that we can continue to learn with wise attention and practice the Dhamma in accordance with the true Dhamma. Thank you so much, Bante, for teaching us this morning. And now it is a question and answer session. Our brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, if you have any questions to ask Bante, you may post your questions at the comment box. Is there any questions? Bante, it is said that there are more Sotapanna and other Aryas in the heavens than in the human world. Is this true or not? If this is true, isn't it better to be reborn in the heavens to continue learning and practicing the Dhamma day? Or is it still better to learn and practice the Dhamma in the human world? Which is better, Bante?
We can say it is always better to go to the heaven, because we cannot really guarantee that we end up in the heaven. So if there is any very direct path to go to heaven and meet the areas in the heaven, it is good to practice in the heaven. But the Buddha's advice is always understanding the Dhamma or realizing the Dhamma or becoming Arya in this very life. Because samsara is such a way, it's very, very dangerous, and we don't know what is our last thought moment, and we don't have control over our last thought moment as well, so that we cannot really guarantee that our last thought moment become a good and is lead to the heaven. So it is, if you ask me, well, which one is better, it's of course trying to understand the Dhamma in this very life is much more better. And Buddha always advise, understand the Dhamma in this very life. But if we really cannot understand the Dhamma, or if we couldn't understand this, we couldn't enter the stream entry in this life, it is good that we keep our practice, especially developing our saddha, virya, sati, samadhi, prajna, continuously practicing it, and that lead to heavenly existence. So when we go to the heaven, for example, especially there is a heaven called Tavatinsa, where the sakha, the sakra, the Deva Sakra is residing. In that heaven, there is a special place called Sudhamma Deva Sabha, means that there is special assembly of Aryans. So in that assembly, they frequently talk and they discuss about the Dhamma. And especially if somebody new to the heaven, normally it says that those people who go to heaven, they reflect how come I come to this place, and then they remember their past good deeds. They are listening Dhamma and a virtuous life, so that they will continue their spiritual life in the heaven. If somebody forget about that, the other devas come and remind them, oh, you come here because of this good deeds, because of this practice, so that you have to practice. And then if you are meet with the other Aryan devas, those who already attained the enlightenment, or maybe attained to the Sotapanna or Sakadagami, Nagami, they will come and help you. They will become your good friends. Definitely, they will teach you, guide you into the practice. So it's a much more safer place in heaven actually than in human world, because human world, that sometimes we cannot find a good friend. The cannot find, difficult to find the true teaching as well, because there are so many defiled people in the human world. So if you go there, there is a possibility, there is more possibility to have a spiritual friend, the Sappurisa Sansevo, and also there is a possibility to listen to the true Dhamma, so that you can have a yoniso manasikara, the wise reflection, and to attain the Sotapanna stage. But the problem is you need to continue to practice your spiritual life in order to go to heaven, and make sure your last thought moment is good thoughts, so that you uh, reborn in heaven. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Pandey. Thank you for the very good answer. And now we go for the second question from L.Y. Teo. To attain Sotapanna, we need to remove the first three fetters. But how do we know that we have removed them? I believe it is not through intellectual thinking. Yeah, Pandey.
Okay, so the first three fetters is Sakkaya Ditthi, Vichikicha, and Silabhata Paramasa. Uh, Once we attain Sotapanna stage, one thing you can see is that these people they have uh, unbroken and uninterrupted devotion towards the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. At any case, they never abandon that devotion towards the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So one time, somebody in the Buddha's time, one the beggar who have a very, very bad rashes all over his body, come to the Buddha's Dhamma talk, and he was in the very far, and then he attentively listened to the Buddha's teaching, and he became a Sotapanna. But he didn't come to the Buddha because there are so many other people, and also he has a rash in all over his body, and he just, there's a beggar in outside. So he just walked away. But the Buddha later said that beggar, that person, become a Sotapan. And then the Sakka, he always testing on people. He go behind that person to check whether he really become a Sotapanna, and he make a deal, he make a offer to this person. He appear in a human form, and then he said, I will cure your disease, rashes, within 1 day, and I will give you enough money to pay off all your debts, and your rest of your life is much more superior and much more comfortable, and you don't have any sicknesses as well. I will cure your sicknesses, but you have to do one thing. You have to tell the Buddha is not the Buddha, Dhamma is not the true Dhamma, and Sangha is not a true Sangha. You have to tell this to the public. Then this beggar said, go away, man, and I will not say that uh, at any cost. So then the Sakka, or the Deva, realized this person really attained to the Sotapanna stage. For example, we can see that if we truly into the Buddha's devotion, Dhamma and Sangha's devotion, that we at any cost, even our life is end now, we never uh, uh, go away from the refuge of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So that is one thing, because they have unwavering devotion or faith towards the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And other thing is that you can understand that the once somebody attain a Sotapanna stage, they will have five knowledge. They will develop that five knowledge, that they destroy all these factors, and they know that they attaining to that stage, and they know what is the bliss of the nibbana, and they have this special knowledge of that they are attaining. So once you attain Sotapanna stage, you don't have to worry that you don't know about it, or you don't have to ask from somebody else. Actually, asking somebody else is totally waste of time, because nobody else can say. Only you can tell that you how you're feeling, and you will feel that, like, for example, you imagine that you're holding very heavy bags in your shoulder entire your life, and then you one day you put that heavy bags on the floor. You will feel a lot of release. You will feel enormous happiness, relief, because the entire your life it's on your shoulder, and now you put it back. So that kind of feelings you will have when you abandon the Sakkaya, because the Sakkaya is the biggest and more toughest defilement that human have. So that is because that we are going to round and round in the samsaric circle, and we have all this suffering. So, and also they understand. So they really understand what is the true virtues, what is true precepts, what is the true rites and rituals. So they abandon all the unnecessary rites and rituals. They know that these rites and rituals alone cannot purify my mind or purify the path. So this understanding will occur. These feelings will have those who attain Sotapanna stage. So you will yourself one day you will feel it, you will realize it, and you definitely have a special knowledge as well. The five knowledge, there are five knowledge will arise in you for you to understand that.
Thank you, Pante,
Yeah.
for opening up our mind to understand better and also appreciate what is it to be a Sotapanna. Thank you, Pante. We go for the third question from Alan Lim. He say, Pante, how the person know he attains Sotapanna?
I think it's the same questions
Yeah.
as earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
once you practice along the way, once you attain that, once you abandon these fetters, especially once you abandon the Sakkaya Ditthi, once you realize that this form is not me, Rupa Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, and Vijnana, these five aggregates are not really myself or me or I. So when you recognize the impermanence nature of these five aggregates, when you recognize and fully understand, when you uh, totally in line with this, the five aggregates are impermanence, lead to suffering, and it's not self. So when you understand this, once you overcome this Sakkaya Ditthi, definitely you will feel it, you will know it. So it is difficult to explain something beyond your comprehension at this moment. So you will have to understand that. So I cannot tell something. If I eat something, I cannot tell exactly how that taste looks like. It's only I know that the taste. But I can roughly say, but definitely you have to eat that particular food, then only you can find the taste. Without eating, you cannot really understand that, but you have a glimpse of understanding. But truly understand, you have to know, you have to eat that taste. So it's like just like Sotapan as well. Uh, you cannot ask it from the other people, but you have to practice it yourself. And one day you will realize it. Definitely, you will not become misplaced. Definitely you will understand it. You don't have to worry about it. So this was like as I said earlier. The first feeling is that you imagine that you holding very heavy things in your shoulder for long, 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 long time, and if you just put it back, the feeling of relief, you will understand that the relief feeling in your abundant Sakkaya.
Yeah, thank you, Pante, for the very profound answer to these very good questions. I think what Baba Pante say, we have to taste the fruit ourselves in order to understand or to appreciate the taste of the fruit of Sotapan. Yeah. Thank you, Pante. Due to time factor or time constraint, I think we have to stop here, Pante. And once again, thank you so much for the very good, very interesting, very inspiring and enlightening Dhamma talk this morning, and also the profound answers to our questions that give us a better understanding on the nature of being a Sotapanna. On behalf of our devotees, we'd like to express our heartfelt thanks and gratitude to Pante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, this morning we have all participated in the Sunday Buddha Puja service listening to Venerable's Dhamma talk. With the merits accrued, let us invite Venerable Indarathana to lead us in the dedication of merits to all sentient beings, families, relatives, friends, and to the departed ones. I'd like to dedicate merits to those who are being affected by the COVID-19. May they have a safe and speedy recovery. Bante.
Okay, let us transfer merits to all the devas and all the departed ones and all other sentient beings. Let's recite together. Akasatha cha bhummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakantu loka sasanang chirang rakantu desanang chirang rakantu mang parang Ithavathā camhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva sabbe satta sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Idang me ñātinang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo Idang me ñātinang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo Idang me ñātinang hotu sukita hontu ñātayo Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yav nibbana pattiya idam me punyang asavakkaya vahang hotu idam me punyang nibbānassa paccayo hotu Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, before we end this morning session, let us pay homage to the triple gems. Dang bujemi, Dhammang bujemi, Sanghang bujemi. Choba Dhamma friends from every corner, from the Klang Coast, and from various locations. Thank you very much for participating. To those who have stayed until to the dedication of merits, sadhu to you. Thank you for those who have put in your comments, very encouraging statements to us, very good feedback. We have come to the end to this 84th online Sundays Buddha Puja service. The next Buddha Puja service will be the next week, Sunday, 27th of March. You may refer to your society's Facebook or SGBA Facebook for the information. Remember to stay safe, stay cautious. May you and family be safe, well, happy, and peaceful always. Sukhi Hontu, Sabbe Sata Sukita Hontu.
Bahung sahan semabhinim mita sayudantang ngirimi kelang udita Sasena marang Dana di Dhamma vidhi